Hello everyone, it is Raye DragonElf. Yes, have definitely been missing in terms of posting content. Definitely been on YouTube adding stuff to my playlist of other people's content. That being said, I do hopefully plan, I'm intending on getting back into posting my own content, vlogs, art, stories, but I was mainly just taking time off to do some soul searching. So I am definitely back with this video. It's not going to be the best quality-wise, I guess, like sound quality, because I'm still trying to figure out my new laptop and how to record videos. But I decided I would go ahead and do this one as a tutorial-ish thing to skip new players to Lord of the Rings Online tips. I'm going to play on my character Elf, Warden. I'm going to go through setting up chat. I'm going to go through combat. Those things are details that even me, when I first started playing the game, they're very challenging.
While visiting the refuge of Ithilien under the care of your master, you find yourself in the midst of a brutal attack by greedy dwarves of the Dowerhand family. Their king, Skorgrim, thirsts for power with an unnatural lust, and you are in the eye of the storm.
Okay, so when you first start playing, you are solo. You're playing solo at this point. You can. This is one of the tips that pops up. WASD to move around. Whoops. Yeah, I just automatically went and started to move around like I do. Because you can use strictly the mouse. You can use strictly the mouse to move around, or strictly the keyboard, or a combination of the two. That is just something you can play around with. If you are using mouse, right mouse click, it turns the camera view and your character. Left mouse click specifically is just the camera view, but combine the two and you can just move yourself around like this. There we go. Okay, get rid of that. Now the chat, this is one of the things that I automatically, whenever I have a new character, I set this up. Here's the chat box. You click and hold on the general tab and you can move it around wherever you want the chat box. Bottom right is a little arrow that you click and hold will open this up larger to have, you can customize the size basically with that. Automatically you start with the general tab, the combat tab, and IMS. IMS is instant messaging or DMs or PMs, depending upon what you're looking at. As you can see already, there is a lot of conversation stuff popping up here in general chat, including what Elrond, who is right in front of me, said, that you are asked to open and come quickly. Well, I need to adjust this so that I'm having trouble with the mouse, so that I can automatically see his text. So it's like this, the AI text pop up for me. If you right click on any of the tabs, this menu pops up: a renaming, create new tab, change filters, change text colors, and chat logging. Which chat logging, the start logging to capture chat, just make a copy of the conversation. For my general chat tab, I don't really use the advancement or combat. Advancement, I'm not totally sure what that one is. Combat is just some information about what's going on in combat, if yourself, enemies, another player. Emotes are actions that you can do. Error, I'll leave that one. Event broadcast, that'd be a good one to leave too. Basically, sometimes there's an event happening and there'll be a notification, hey, it's going to happen in this amount of time. Fellowship is basically a temporary team up. Kinship is kind of like a permanent team up, and if you want to view it that way. LFF, I don't know what that is for. Leaderboard, I don't really do anything with. Loot. So you do combat. I am sorry, am I going too fast for you guys? Anyways, loot is, you get that off of your opponents that you defeat, or say like something you pick up along the way. OOC, I don't know what that is. Officer is specifically for kinship officer chat. I don't need that. Quest, that's information on the progress of your quest, which they automatically show up here. So my current quest is approach Elrond, who is in front of me. I'll get to that. I don't need that. Raid, I don't really do any raids, but if like you want to do raids with other players, that is an option for you. Regional, let me see, let me pull up the map real quick. I don't need that for my general tab, so I don't have it check marked, but if I hit M pulls up the map. This shows the inside of the building I'm currently in. Okay, so I think, okay, yeah, well that's a bummer. I can't open up world map right now. But anyways, I'm in... okay. Sorry, the world is broken down very strategically in a sense, and it's very extensive. The region is basically this region of land. Anybody within each of the areas of this land, they can talk to each other here. World chat, which you can see a lot of world indicators here. That is everybody across the entire world can talk to each other, which is what's going on here. I don't know what these are. I don't even know if anybody uses them. Trade is like, say, if you want to converse with, to trade something, looking to buy something from another player, this is the channel that you talk through. Now, create new tab. I'm going to want a couple of these. I'm just going to go ahead and pop up 3. I don't know if I'm going to want more or not at this point in time, but okay. You can click and drag. It looks like you can't click and drag the IMS, but you can click and drag everything else. I prefer having it at the end. Okay, so I'm going to rename this one regional. So this is... So I right-clicked on it, tapped rename, typed it in, hit enter, or click done. Then I need to change my filter to make sure it's just regional. And since this channel is supposed to be set for regional, you know, I'm going to come back to that bit there. Then this one here, I'm going to rename it to say. And as I go a bit further along in... let's say in emotes. The say is specifically the area you are in, and also say like, I don't know if any of you remember, but there was a little bit in the general chat that was something Elrond said. Well, his words will show up here once I get going with a little bit of the questing. You will see that. And alright, I need just slightly more. Whoops, where did I go with... Oh, that's what I did. Found out I can have 2 windows up. That'll work just fine. I'll adjust this momentarily. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want that. I wanted to rename the tab, not create a new one. This one I'm going to name Kinship. There is a ton of different kinships in here that you can be a part of, though you can only be a part of 1 kinship per character, but you can still socialize with a bunch of them. Then for this tab, I want to, oops, there we go. I want to name this one to Fellowship. Did I? No, I did not spell it right. My fingers got a little ahead of me. Fellowship, then change filter to Fellowship specifically. So this way, if I am in a fellowship, this is where all that conversation will be, and it will not get mixed up like in the general chat with everybody else's. Now I want to adjust this a little bit. There we go. This is essentially what I like to have set up for mine. General chat, where I typically talk with players in the world chat. Regional for the region I'm in. Say is for me talking to players in said area. Combat, I do and I don't use it. There's just stats on what's going on in the fight. Kinship for the kinship that I'm a part of. I've been typically a part of just one specific kinship these days instead of the old one I was in. And then the fellowship for just a group adventure. Then the IMS for instant messages. Now, I don't know if any of you have been paying attention, but here in the bottom left corner on each of these tabs, it's a little icon that says next to say. You need to left click on that and say I want to talk with the world. I change the output channel to world. Go to the regional channel, go to output channel after clicking on the little say icon, change it to regional. This way, when I type in my message, it automatically goes to that channel. So say I'm in a kinship and I want to talk specifically to the kinship. I go ahead and click on the little bubble, hit kinship, and I can talk to the kinship. Same thing with fellowship. Now there are emotes that you can look into. Same thing, click on the icon, go to the bottom of the list this time, and there's a whole list of different default emotes that you can get. I don't know if you can get like more after that. You can say, let's see, what's a good one? Okay, that'll work. You can either click on the emote or you type /, then the name. I don't know why I have this here. It's probably part of my warden thing. Can I move that? No, I can't. Oh well. I have stuff in my inventory that I need to go through since this is a new character. And I've been on here like 8 years. So I've gotten some things for being on here 8 years. So go ahead and jump up. Okay, walk forward. He now has a fiery ring. Fiery ring is an indication of a main quest.
You cannot tarry here any longer.
Cannot tarry here any longer, Astorben. Skorgrim's forces are upon us, and I fear they make straight for this library. He seeks the relics of Edaholin, though I do not know what a dwarf could want with them. These relics were once coveted by a gaunt lord of old. I think the fool believes he can become immortal if he acquires them. Next objective, open the satchel right, click on the satchel to collect what is inside. So this right here, okay, it was a little slow. And looting, you right click on an item that you wish, or object you wish to loot. Okay, I'm a little ahead of the game right now. Whoops. I moved while it was looting, but I was taking a moment to pick everything up. This is all the items I looted out of it. I need to shift where I have my bags, because I prefer them over in the corner over here. If you wanted, you can also I don't know the key command to get to the chat settings, where I can also change the color of different chat features. But I know that I key opens up your inventory along with these extra. It shows you these little icons here that you can use to personalize your quick slots. What am I looking for? For some reason I already have stuff equipped. There we go. So now, okay, so I ended up right-clicking on these items. I'm going to bring them down. You right-click on them and then you equip them, which you can just leave the mouse over it to see, compare stats and stuff like that. which I've got now equipped, the stuff that is the better the items. If you, oh yeah, these satchels down here are all, or these icons down at the bottom on the right, those are your inventory, so you can click on individually and open them up if you want. And this right here is your character panel. You can see what you've got equipped in terms of weapons and armor in here. There's some other things in here too that you can look at over time, but I'm not really going to be going into that this time around. But yeah, these are your stats too. Those change over time in game. Heck. Yes, this is definitely an insert from later on in recording and editing. Two things. One that just popped up to that notified me. There's basically a Hobbit birthday gift every day. This little present box here. You click on that, left click, and left click on the Open Silver for free, and I have a consumable item. This is, I will look at it later. That shows up in your inventory. I hit I. Oh yes, the edit mode. That was exactly what I was intending this for. Intending this little bit of a recording for. You can purchase more slots for your inventory with going through the Lord of the Rings Online store. And there's the edit mode, this one right here. Basically, you can click and drag the stacks of 5, and now you've got a bigger bag. Do something like this. There we go. Do something like that, and then that will work just fine for me at this point in time. I will definitely go through the rest of my inventory later. You can toggle lock modes that locks items in place. Yeah, okay. Anyways, bye.
Good. You are better armed.
Master Talagan wishes to speak with you before you set off to Eldion. Talagan, I have found your student. Quickly say what you wish to say. Astoperin is not safe here for long. So yeah, that text, as Elrond was moving around, was showing up above his head, but because I have the say channel right here set up the way I do, I was able to read the text and see what he was saying. Go ahead and right click on him. He wants to spar with me to make sure I am ready to go. Now when it comes to combat, these down here are basically all your combat options that you currently have. These are all your quick slot options. This one here, for my warden class to be more specific, this is in the fray stance, so that's basically it boosts a certain trait while you're in combat. It just stands to deal with enemies in melee combat. Only one stance may be active at a time. So this one's more specific to being able to do melee combat. This is distance ranged combat. Due to being a ranger, I need to toggle between the two to combat my opponents from close to ranged. And this is a melee attack for me that I can use. Costs 1 power. Okay, so these two, the stances, they don't have a power cost, which is the blue bar up here. Your moral is the green bar, so that's health and basically health and mana, depending upon what game you're playing. But my quick thrust here is a fast melee attack, and it costs 1 power, so we'll take a one power out of the bar. Quick strike with the shield. Does a fair amount of damage. Has a cooldown of 1 second. Both of these do. Some of your attacks, they have a much longer cooldown period than just 1 second. Shout that deals light damage over time. That's a good skill to have. Which one am I on? What's this one? Okay, so this one here is Gambit. This bar right here is Gambit default thing. I don't know how to move it where I want it. But that's okay. I'll figure that out later. But this, I need to have the part of this, if not all of it, filled up. Somehow, some way, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Warden class. I'm more familiar with the Hunter. And this one is this is a ranged attack, so in order to do this one I would have to switch over to assailment stance, but I can stick to in the fray stance because that's melee. Now my master, which is Talagan Silvertongue, wishes to spar with me, so I'll give you a quick. Once he's up. Okay, he's up. So I right-clicked on him. And then here I can go ahead and use these. Okay, since these ended up showing up, I can use the Gambit attack. Well done, Lost Pen. You have learned well. The ground starts shaking violently. Elrond ended up saying, Skogrim's forces will draw near. Talagan said it seems they will do anything to get at those relics.
There is no time to waste.
Okay, so to open a door, Talagan ended up opening it up for me, but in general, rule of thumb, when there's a door that you can open, you right-click on it, and then the doors will open, and they can walk through. And this Quest and Rings quest, he's got a story quest. Blue circle means a quest in progress, and a gold circle, or if it's like a see-through circle, or rather a ring, that's just ones that aren't as important as ones on fire.
Oh, Elber, Gilthonia.
Because I've been through the elf tutorial so much, I am going to be a little quick to get through this, and I'll skip recording part of it as well. I don't know, as I said, I don't know what the key command is, but I went to the bottom icon right here and go to options, bottom left icon. I went to options, go down to chat. This feature I really, really like. You can darken up the background of the chat. That comes in very, very handy. So, Talagan wanted for me to come follow him. Then he's telling me to go and return one piece. And then somebody down here is going to open the gate for me. East gate. Skogrim's forces press hard upon us. You can see it in the chat down here too. Oops. Salmon cannot's out of here. Yard to boost our defenses there. Come this way, young one. Yeah. Definitely helps having this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one last little combat thing, pause recording, then I'll pick up that later when I'm in a place where there's other players, so I can show you how to do some things. Or rather interact with them as a friend or something that's help. Oh, and given that this is a number 1 slot, number 2 slot, number 3 slot, number 4 slot, etc., etc., you can click on these right click to enact the action, or left click, I'm not sure which. But you can also hit the number keys on your keyboard. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and there happens to be a player right next to me. So I went ahead and left clicked on him. Then you can right click on his icon and it shows start secure trade, follow the person, you can chat with them, start an IM sessions, then tell or ignore. You can send them a friend request, unfriend them. You can also invite them to a fellowship. There is an adopt feature where you can form family trees. You can also initiate spars as well. And you can also inspect them to see what they have. His name is... Good to say. Okay, you can send tell. Okay, you can either, like, say, right click on him, then right click on the icon, go down to chat, and then hit send tell. And then in the chat will be /tell and their name. You can actually just type this in. This is a means of being able to communicate with other players. As I said, instant messaging. Let me get rid of that so I don't end up doing it. That is basically that. So let me check the map real quick. Yes, okay. Athelion, Refuge of Athelion, that was where the elf tutorial originated at. Now in this section of the tutorial, you're at Thorin's Gate, which is predating basically the timeline of the rest of the game. If you right click, there we go. Right click at this point, you'll see that I am in Ered Luin. This is the region that I am in. So if I want to talk to anybody in Ered Luin, that I just need to be in that region. That is basically it. I do hope that that helps out some of the other players when they're first starting out in the game. Anyways, y'all take care. Bye for now.